Hi guys, it's Erica Heron, founder of the Small Business Marketing Studio and ericaheron.com. So this is our latest video in the series, Moving a Business in the Military. So this is for military spouses who are looking at a change of duty station regardless of your military branch, and doing it with a business or a nonprofit or some other organization that you created that has to move with you. There's a whole other facet of challenges that comes with that just isn't included in your PCS packets for moving your regular household. So we want to provide you with some information on how to best set yourself up for success in the long run. I myself am an Army wife of 6 years. My husband is an Army recruiter, and we are getting ready for our latest change of duty station. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, this one is a big one. We're moving cross country. We're fortunate enough that I know the area. I already have connections out there, but my husband and my children have never lived out there. So we're getting ready to make a fairly substantial move, and we just completely rebranded the Small Business Marketing Studio with a completely new business model. So trust me when I say I understand the challenge of being afraid of picking up and making a big shift after you've already made a big shift of branching out with your own business. So today we're going to talk about goal setting. This is key for any military spouse, whether you have a business or not, of what you want to accomplish through the process of your change in duty station. If you have a business, usually when you hear goal setting and stuff like that, your first thing you're going to hear is revenue, which is great. We want to focus on that as well. But there are so many other components that you're going to have to think about. When you're moving a business as a civilian, they want to give you, 6 months to a year to fully transition your business into the new location. With the military, you're only looking at, maybe 60 to 90 days. And not everything goes as planned because you have somebody else calling the shots on a regular basis. So it makes it extremely challenging. So we want to make sure that you're doing your goal setting from both a business side and a personal side and making sure that they mesh well. So the phase that we're in now is we're still waiting on final orders, and we want to make sure that we're being proactive as possible, and that starts with goal setting. So let's talk about 5 things that you can do right now to help set yourself up for success. So the first thing that we want you to do is to start with grace. In any facet of military life, you have to expect that something is not going to go as planned. Usually more than one thing is not going to go as planned. That's certainly been the truth for us, from my husband's schedule to we've had COVID going on, all these other things kind of play into what's going on. And we actually found out that our PCS date is a whole 2 weeks earlier than what we thought. And it sends things into a bit of a spiral if you're not careful. So you want to make sure that you're starting with grace. Expect that something is going to go off kilter and you're going to have to adjust, and be okay with the fact that it's not going to be perfect, and you're not going to be perfect, and you're not going to be able to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish. So identifying what you need to get done and what you need to have happen in this process versus what you want to have happen in this process is so vitally important. If you can get a couple things off of that want list, that's a win. So make sure that you start with the grace that, you don't have control over everything, and you're going to have to be able to make that shift as you go along, and that's okay. That's not on you. The big deal here is that you're continuing to push forward no matter what happens, right? So number 2 is set priorities. Again, this goes back to what's a want to accomplish and what's a need to accomplish. So for me, one of the big struggles that we have as military spouse, especially with children, is you have that mindset in your mind of what should my priorities be right now. I have employees, I have kids, I have a husband, I've got all these different things. What comes first in the different facets of this? The reality is there's no right answer, and that answer is going to change as you work through the process. So setting priorities of these things have to happen for these specific areas is going to be key for you finding success in your goal setting. Some days it may be I need to take the day and spend it with my kids to help them transition. Some days it may be I need to train my employees to be prepared for this new shift, or to help me with sales, or to help me with an operations side, something that needs to get taken off of your plate. Sometimes it may be packing up the house, and the house has to get cleaned today, or we have to get it to the market. All of these things, it's okay for these priorities to shift, but identify what's most important and what is a need and what is a want, and make sure you have those clearly prioritized and be objective about it, because it's really easy to sit there and say this want is a need when it's actually not. All right. So the main thing with priorities is survival of your business, making a successful move, making sure that your kids will transition well, and that you're able to take care of yourself along the way. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you're not going to be any good to anybody else. So those are the priorities. Everything else is gravy. If you can hit those marks on those priorities, you're good to go. All right. So number 3, pick one thing to accomplish every day. If you're like me, I want to get everything done right away. Like, I don't like waiting. I don't like not being in control. I want to be able to attack my to-do list and get everything done just exactly as I plan. Again, the caveat with this with military life is that things don't always go as planned, and there's always something last minute that's going to happen. There's always something that's going to be outside of your control. If you can pick one thing that you are going to get done that day, every single day, and it can be a major thing or it can be a smaller thing, right? If your goal is, I want to close 2 new accounts this week, you might say that my thing to get done today, because I know that I'm going to convert more, is to spend 1 hour making client prospect phone calls today. I'm going to do that. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to dedicate that time, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to try and find my next client. It may be, I'm preparing the house to sell. That's a priority of something that I have to get done. So my goal for that day may be, I'm going to make sure that the living room is fully painted, or I'm going to update the door frames, or whatever needs to be done. Pick one thing and see it through to completion. That doesn't mean that's the only thing you do that day. That means it's one thing that you see all the way through. And that's going to help you stay focused. It's going to help you stay motivated, because you are actually making progress every single day. All right. So number 4, a good thing to do, especially if you're new to goal setting, is to use a guide. So there are a lot of different planners, goal setting journals, all this other stuff out there. Personally, I like the Clever Fox Planner. I'm sorry, it's Clever Fox Planner. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. You can find it on Amazon or on the Clever Fox website. This is not an affiliate post. This is just something that I use that I have found helpful. It walks you through the process of goal setting on an annual basis, a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, and a weekly basis, which works for me because everything changes so frequently. Being able to revisit and go, oh, here in this quarter, I was able to accomplish all my goals by just slowly but surely working forward. It helped me launch my new business. It helped me start up the process of this move, all of this stuff. So if you need somebody to kind of hold your hand through the goal setting process, Clever Fox is good. I've heard great things about Day Designer. I've used them myself. It didn't work as well for me because it was too regimented. But for everybody, a different thing is going to work best for you. If you're not new to goal setting, a good thing to do is to get like a bullet journal where you can create something on your own and work through that goal setting process yourself. That includes your vision board, your cluster mapping, all of this other stuff that comes with the goal setting process. You can build your own guide in those bullet journals. So really whatever works for you, just something that you can tangible, that you can hold, that you can write down so you can track how far you've come, is going to help you stay motivated as you go through. All right. And number 5, expect the unexpected. Are you sensing a theme as we're going through this? Again, this is something that just comes with military life, whether you own a business or not. With us, it took us an extra 4 months longer than we expected to launch the business before we even had orders. But we got the darn thing launched, right? That's what's important, is making sure that you don't give up, that you get through to your goals, no matter how long it takes you, no matter how many things you come up against. So the best way to plan for that is to expect that things are going to go wrong. Expect that things are going to have to adjust, and leave room for that. So if you're only prioritizing one thing to get done that day, one major thing to get done that day, that's a good place to start, is you can make tangible progress versus sitting there and spiraling when things go wrong, because they will. So expect the unexpected. the big thing about military life is that this is part of what we signed up for, right? When we married into the military. If you're dual military, it's additionally complicated because you get it on both sides. So the key thing here, like I said, is to make sure that as you go through the process of goal setting, as a military spouse, business owner, looking at a change of duty station, find a way to keep yourself motivated without going crazy. You don't want to overwhelm yourself to stay the course. If it takes you longer, if it doesn't look exactly the way that it was supposed to, it doesn't matter. So long as you are able to achieve those goals in a structured form. By structured, I mean you're not spending a huge ton of money that you didn't expect to spend. You're not losing employees. You're not losing your business. Your kids aren't going haywire. All those other things. You're able to maintain your stability, even though everything else is kind of chaotic around you. So that's the focus here. So a good place to start is with your goal setting. If you prefer to get things in writing, we do have a more in-depth view of goal setting for military spouse business owners on our blog, ericaheron.com. So you can check that out at the link in the comments. Otherwise, see you next time for the next episode of Moving with the Military. Talk to you later.